Breaking the Silence is a podcast that dives into the intricate and often challenging topics of grief and loss within relationships. Through insightful discussions, the podcast aims to explore how pain can be transformed into purpose, leading to healing and growth. By addressing themes such as inner child work and the journey towards feeling alive once more, this podcast offers a beacon of hope for those navigating difficult emotions. Ultimately, Breaking the Silence aims to guide listeners towards moving forward and embracing all the blessings that life has in store as they embark on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual fulfillment. I'm your guide through this journey, Renee Wallace, and I invite you to join me as we break the silence surrounding grief and loss, transforming pain into purpose and finding hope in the healing power of storytelling. Hello, my beautiful friends. Hey, welcome to Breaking the Silence. So this one is sort of a spur of the moment, special one. I actually have been meaning to share this and just haven't had time. And we'll see how this goes because number one, my cat keeps meowing in the background and I have my windows open right now because the weather is so amazing. So you might hear, we'll see how it sounds with cars going by and stuff. But I wanted to share something about just how I think it's important to talk about because a lot of times people don't, where grief can just really catch you off guard. So a few weeks ago, I went to the dentist. My tooth was hurting and I waited a few days and I was like, you know what, it's not getting better and I'm taking ibuprofen all the time. And so anyways, went to the dentist and they basically told me, well, regardless, it doesn't matter. I had two options. I could just have the tooth completely removed or have it removed and an implant put in and then they would put a crown over top of it. So my point is that, they tell me my options. And I leave there, and I was fine as they were telling me all this, but I did mention to them, the last time I had to have a tooth removed was 5 years before. Actually, it was just shortly after Bryant had passed. And so I left there, and all of a sudden, a ton of emotions just hit me. And I'm going to try, hopefully it's been long enough now that I won't cry about it telling you, but it hit me. Dave was the one that took me when I needed to have the tooth taken out and they sedated me. I was like, knock me out. I do not want to be awake for it. And so I had to have a driver home, And so Dave was the one that brought me home and, took care of me, made sure he'd wake me up to give me my pain meds and all that stuff and, eat all the jazz. And it just hit me as I left the doctor's office or the dentist office that day, that he did that 5 years ago, and who was going to do it now? And, I have kids, of course, somebody is going to get me there and home. But my point was, it just was that moment of grief that just overtook me that I just was so sad, of just realizing that part of my life is over, right? And, we have kids, but when you have a person, especially when you've had that person for almost 30 years of your life that did those things, it makes you it just sort of smacks you in the face sometimes, right? Oh. And I say this, but I don't mean it the way it's going to say, you think I'm alone. I don't have anyone to do that anymore. I don't have a person to do that. And so I only share that because that's the reality of grief, right? Sometimes there's just those reminders of life's changed and life's not the same anymore. And it can sort of be like a little sucker punch to the gut sometimes. And I mean, I felt it for a few moments and let myself be sad about that. And like I said, I know that I'm fine. I have kids that will help me, but it does even make you think of the future, right? Like when you have somebody and you think like you'll grow old together and you'll take care of each other and you realize like, oh, okay. So I hope one of my kids is on board with taking care of me one day. I guess that's the benefit of having a big family, right? It's like, by gosh, somebody better sign up for the job. Anyways, I hope you find some humor in that too. Like, yes, there is the moment of just like the reality of like um what life looks like now. Um, but also the humor in it of that. I mean, I know I'll be fine. And I know I one of my kids is going to take me and bring me home and because again I'm like knock me out. um, and then even what made me even decide to up and record this today because I've been meaning to, but like I said, life's been just full and all the fun things and I just haven't sat down to do it. I went to pull a book off my shelf and I was watching a video and they was talking about the book Think and Grow Rich. And I was like, I know I have that book. So I went to search my books and I do. And I pulled it off the shelf and I like immediately come to a spot where like there's a bookmark. I'm like, oh, I'd marked where I was reading. And I pull out a card. It must have been from Flowers. And it's from Dave. And it was just another one of those moments that you're like, wow. And I'll read it to you. I'll just share it with you. It says, Happy anniversary to my GWOAT, greatest wife of all time. I truly love and miss you. I love you, Dave. And I just sat and looked at it, for a few minutes and just, one of those moments again, like sweet moments of like, like I'm so thankful. When you stick something, you use it for a bookmark and you find it years later. It's just sometimes like just a little kiss from heaven. And I laugh at him too, of course, because greatest wife of all time. I was his only wife. Anyways, so I read that and that was like, all right, I need to record a podcast because this is real moments of learning to live without people, learning a new life. And sometimes things can catch you off guard and we have to grieve that. And also like there's such sweet moments too. Like they're just like, not even that I'm like sad about, of course it brings up emotions and of how sad in the sense of like how our lives have changed and that my kids don't have their dad anymore. Of course those things. But then also just thankful for the sweet like reminders of, like I said, like a kiss from heaven, of the life we did have. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you the life we had was perfect. It absolutely wasn't. There is so much to our story that I know I want to share more of one day. And I don't ever want anybody to think that it was perfect and it was sunshine and rainbows because it wasn't. But there, in 30 years, there was obviously sweet moments too. And a lot of life and a lot of love and a lot of kids and just a lot of experiences. So anyways, that's all. I just wanted to share real quick my heart with you. And I want you to know if you are in those moments of, where it catches you off guard of like how your life has changed, whether it's that you've lost your mom or a spouse or a child or whatever, a friend, I was even thinking, sometimes I just miss people. I was thinking about Michael the other day and just thinking, gosh, like I would just love to talk to her. And, a post came up in my memories of something with her that just made me smile. You have beautiful friendships with people and life changes, right? And I just want you to know, okay, that it's okay for it to sometimes be, to feel these emotions and let ourselves like feel them and know that we're still okay. Anyways, so I'm going to end this. I'm just sort of rambling now, but I send you off with so much love and I'll talk with you soon. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking the Silence. As we conclude our time together, let us carry forward the stories we've heard, the emotions we've shared, and the connections we've forged. Remember, the journey through grief and loss is not one we walk alone. In the silence, we find solidarity. In our shared experiences, we find strength. And in our vulnerability, we find resilience. If you or someone you know is navigating the complexities of grief, know that there is support available. Reach out, lean on your community, and remember that healing is not linear. It's a journey, and you are not alone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being a part of this community. Until next time, may you find peace in the spaces between the silence. Please be sure to subscribe below and leave us a review. If you'd like to connect further, you can find me on Instagram at Coaching with Renee. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking the Silence. As we conclude our time together, let us carry forward the stories we've heard, the emotions we've shared, and the connections we've forged. Remember, the journey through grief and loss is not one we walk alone. In the silence, we find solidarity. In our shared experiences, we find strength. And in our vulnerability, we find resilience. If you or someone you know is navigating the complexities of grief, know that there is support available. Reach out, lean on your community, and remember that healing is not linear. It's a journey, and you are not alone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being a part of this community. Until next time, may you find peace in the spaces between the silence. Please be sure to subscribe below and leave us a review. If you'd like to connect further, you can find me on Instagram at Coaching with Renee.